Hey, hey, hey. What is going on, everybody? It is such a joy to be back. I had to take a break yesterday. Your boy was tired. I was literally exhausted. But it is exciting to be back with all of you. I thank you so much for tuning in and watching the shows and relaying how you felt and leaving reviews and sharing and all the good stuff that you've been doing lately. Today we are doing a twofer, shall I say. So we have a guest that's coming up right now, and then we have a guest at 8 o'clock. And I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are ready for crazy conversation. Today's first guest is Miriam A. Hyman. If you've been watching The Shy for the past season, you know that she comes in playing Dre. So she's in. I'm going to get her in right now because there's no need to hold off. All right, let's go. I don't know if it's messing up. I don't know. Hopefully. Hey, y'all. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm actually just waiting to get Miriam in. Hey, I'm trying to add you. I'm gonna try one more time. Let's just see. Is it me? It doesn't. It's like it's not letting me.
Hey,
Hey,
what's good? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. No complaints.
Yo, it's such a blessing to have you on this show.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
your willingness, man. I was hyped when I got the email. I was like, look at God.
Won't he do it?
Won't he
Won't he
do it? I
do
had to
it?
do a couple of praise dances around it. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm happy to be on with you.
Thank you so much. How are you? How have things been during quarantine and COVID? What have you been up to? I know you've been up to a lot, but let the people know real quick.
I'm good. COVID is COVID. I've just been trying to be as productive as possible, still make things happen, still
Yeah.
try to produce work. I was able to drop my EP Alter Ego during this time. I
Mm-hmm.
did a radio broadcast of
Yeah.
Richard II with the Public Theater in WNYC. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then the show dropped, The
Yeah.
Shy. So I've been keeping up with that. I've been busy.
You've been working out here. Working in these streets. Well, we definitely appreciate all that you bring to the table. I just want to start off by, people are so wanting to just jump into these things and think that it is what it is. And in some cases, it's okay. But I love the fact that you perfected your craft. You went to school for this. You
Right.
graduated and yeah. Let me, a little weird here. A little, yeah.
You can't keep puffing if you're not gonna pass now.
Listen, I'm giving you your side
Okay,
right
I'm
now.
taking it.
So,
I'm
how
taking
was
it.
that? When did you know? I know this was young. So, but when did you know for real? Like, listen, this is what I want. This is what I want to do, and this is what I have to do to get here.
I mean, I didn't really know exactly what it took to become an actor, to do TV, to do like movies and films. I had no idea. But basically, I got inspired by seeing a film
Mm.
and I just started doing my research, just like as a kid, just online, like how do you become an actor? Or do you have to
Yeah.
go to school for, stuff like that. And pretty much I just started to see like, oh, okay, I should probably be very rooted in the theater and
Mm-hmm.
try to understand some kind of a foundation,
Right.
because I kept reading that a lot of actors, they can easily transition from the theater, well, more
So,
easily transition from the theater to
to
TV and
film.
film versus if you just primarily were only doing TV and film and then to transition to theater.
Right.
So, yeah, I looked at a lot of actors that I really respected who were doing TV and film and they were trained
Mm-hmm.
in the theater. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, you put two and two together. And so that's kind of like how my process started. And,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, I went to graduate school. I went to Yale School of Drama to get my master's. But right before that, I went to University of the Arts in Philly, where I grew up, to get my BFA.
Mm.
So total in terms of university, that's 7 years of training.
Right.
Again, you don't have to go about it that way. But for me, I just felt like even after getting my BFA, I was like, I need to perfect this more as much as
Right.
possible
Right.
before I really start getting these
Mm-hmm.
experiences,
Right.
and you're not trying to be in school forever. You want to get it done and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
But it's all about doing your due diligence. It's all about showing up and giving it all that you got. So when people see you, like, who is she? Hey, take this. Take this paper that shows you who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
you've been around. You've been going. The Sun is also a star, which I saw you in.
Oh, cool.
Blue Bloods. You did
Yeah.
3 seasons for that, which I also got the opportunity to see you in as
That's
Emily,
what's up.
Dr. Emily Cooper.
Yeah.
So you've been in a lot of different things and a lot of different aspects. How was the jump from theater to film? Because I know it's a different ball game. So how was that for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a different ball game. I started to get into TV and film in between me being an undergrad and going into graduate school. And one of the reasons why I decided to go into graduate school was because I just felt like I was starting to do TV and film, and I was like, okay, I still feel like I need
Yes.
more understanding as to what I'm really doing here, And I was starting to work with some people who are, really well established. And I just wanted to make sure that I was doing my due diligence to make sure that I was investing in myself completely. And I had all the tools, for my toolbox. And then I also love, classical theater. I love Shakespeare. And so I just wanted to really hone that a bit more. And I knew that this would be an opportunity for me to be able to, really just do all of the above,
Right,
so,
right. And,
yeah.
and reality kind of building your own table, creating your own lane. That's just kind of what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then you got hit with this banger, The Shy. So for those of you who've been sleeping under a rock, Miriam plays Dre, who for me is me in every sense of the word, is wanting to always help those and kind of like say what it is and do what it is. And I just feel like people are giving you such a hard time. Like the love is kind of,
they hating
Dre,
on the kids.
I think that she's the person that comes to the cookout and everybody's like, who cousin is that? Like, who are you? Like, where did you come from? And then you're like laying down gems and people are not ready to hear what you have to say. How did you go about getting that role? Because it's iconic and it's everything I am.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been such a blessing and a blast playing Dre. And really, this role came about the same way that the majority of them do for me, or opportunities come about where my agents, managers, they reach out to me, send me scripts. And when I received this script, I was just really excited about the material because I was like, wow, I've never seen a character like this, on television, on film,
Yeah.
And every time you do see a depiction specifically of a Black woman, she's in a same-sex relationship, there's always kind of like that negative connotation, you know, or like there's this certain stereotypical way in which these characters are played. And I just wanted to bring real truth to who I thought Dre was. I mean, you don't see her season 1 and season 2, but Dre is from that community. You also don't see how Dre and Nina get together. Right. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to that in season 4.
That's what I mean. Like season 3 started, we like, wait, who is she? Like, you know what I mean?
But listen, this is the thing. So if you've been following the show season 1 and season 2, there was a relationship that Nina was in with another young lady. Her name was Karen. And I think for whatever reason, it probably just didn't read as much, with their relationship. And so I think at the top of this season, obviously a lot of things changed. They had like new storylines they were playing with. And this came about, to show family in this way with these 2 Black mothers and these 2 Black children. And we can show Black love in this way. We can show family in this way. And it's relatable, So I'm glad that they started out with the wedding because, I mean, it was a hell of a way to get introduced. It was like, hey,
just throw it.
I was like, hey.
Well, I love in this season, like I feel like you came in at the perfect time just because of who you are as a person, and I feel like a lot of Dre is a lot in you. You know what I'm saying? It kind of it's to a twofer, shall I say? So, do you see yourself in Dre when you play this
I
character?
mean, I think in all the characters, that I play,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bit of me in them and a bit of them in me.
Yeah.
I think that there are definitely a lot of things that I have in common with Dre. There's a lot of differences,
Mm-hmm.
but of course there's always, not always going to be similarities, but I think kind of like always
Yeah.
there's something there,
Yeah.
which I feel like, which is kind of why you get attracted
Mm-hmm.
to certain,
Yeah.
characters sometimes.
Yeah.
It could be the mission that they're on. It could be just who they are as a person. So,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I really respected what she stood for, and
Yeah.
I was interested in being a part of conveying that.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it is so legit. Like you can definitely see her just wanting to do well for her family and
Hmm.
provide for her family, but also deal with these conversations and these issues that are happening at home. The
Yeah.
brokenness and
Yeah.
dealing with Keisha's issues, and also let's get into this little Kevin issue because that mouth got to go. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And kind of like
Yep.
breaking down all these things. Where do you think, or where would you like Lena to kind of take you? Because I'm claiming it right now. Season 4 is going to drop. I'm not even worried about it. Where do you think you want Lena to kind of go with your character?
I love your optimism. Yeah, I would love for them to show how the relationship came about for Nina
Mm-hmm.
and Dre. And I don't think it's something that we have to dwell on. It could literally be a scene,
Right.
but something like that I think would be really interesting because the fans are always thirsting for backstory. I think in a similar way that actors are always thirsting for backstory,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to know, well, wait a second, well, where did she live? Was she two blocks over? Like,
Yes.
did they meet on the bus stop? Like,
Yeah.
so I think that it would be really cool if they show that, if they also show why there's this resentment that Keisha has for Dre,
For Dre. Yeah.
because we saw that at the top at the wedding. I come
Mm-hmm.
bearing gifts like they were
Right.
baby Jesus. Listen, the only thing I didn't have was the frankincense. I came with the gold and the
Yes.
myrrh. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I start off trying to be extremely genuine, very supportive of Nina, and because of Nina, these
Right.
kids. And yeah, so I think it would be cool to show, like, we saw just a little bit of that. I think it was episode 4
Mm-hmm.
where I come in the room and Keisha's blasting her music and we see the tattoo on
The
her back.
tattoo. Yes.
Right, which was amazing because, fast forward towards the end of the episode, I'm the one who knows
That's
how
how
to
that
how to
word is not.
identify her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really, I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing with the pen in the
I
pad.
see the connections. I
Okay.
see.
But yeah, so in that way, you saw just a brief moment of Dre coming in again as a new parent. These kids are
Mm-hmm.
teenage kids. They're not little babies. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, you're not that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any children,
Right.
so I'm coming into this thing as a bachelorette pretty much like, oh, okay, I'm taking on a new partner and kids. And
Mm-hmm.
so, trying to be an authoritative figure, but also still wanting to be cool, wanting to still
Yeah.
be, like, hey, I'm getting to know you all, but hey, I'm here, I'm rocking with your mama. So,
Yeah. Right.
take this gold, take a couple of these dollars and chill, so, but
And
yeah.
what I love about you is you are not just a person playing this character. You're living this every day, and you also work in the Shy with Impact Family Center, who basically kind of gives back and supports youth living in these impoverished neighborhoods. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Most definitely. I mean, well, impacting you is exactly that. It's a matter of trying to impact the youth in a very positive way, a very productive way, giving constructive criticism to these young people so they understand that, listen, you can be any and everything that you want to be, but it requires discipline, it requires focus, it requires a level of specificity. And
Yeah.
so I work with them as an MC, which my MC moniker is Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I came to them and I helped them to write lyrics. And so they would talk about the gun and gang violence in their
Yeah.
communities. They would talk about how they've been directly affected, indirectly affected, And so it's a huge thing that's affecting this culture. And I mean, I just think it behooves all of us to like get involved as much as possible to just
Mm-hmm.
try to like, uplift them and also just create a positive way for them to get this frustration out, you know,
True.
because it's just negative energy. And so we have to, like, you know, make it
Yeah.
into positive energy so they can continue to be productive, you know, citizens. Yeah.
Well, I love that you kind of connect the arts to
Yeah.
what they're going, because a lot of people are like that. Like they connect and relate to arts, which brings us to Robin Hood. Every time I think about the Miriam, aka Robin, I think of Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
I love the fact that you've created a lane for your artistry. I know you started back in 2013, kind of putting pen to paper, and you did your first EP in 2014, Journey of an MC. What was it that made you want to pick up a pen and say, you know what? I got something to say. I got these bars that I want to get you guys to think about, because I feel like your music is so like empowering. It's so good and it's so thought provoking. What made you want to do that?
Well, first off, Journey of an MC was my first mixtape. And so that came before the first actual EP. And one of the reasons why I got inspired to write is because of what I was not hearing on the radio. I love hip hop. I've always loved hip hop. You know, I write, you know, and I dance, you know, so it's always been just a part of me. And basically it was just like, I just started to feel like a lot of the content that I was hearing on the radio was just, it was kind of like the same old, you know. A lot of the lyrics were demeaning, you know, just kind of like really disrespectful to women, you know, your fellow man. And so I just was like, wow, you know, what if you know, you had some thought-provoking bars over a dope beat?
Right.
And it's not as if it hasn't come before us. You know, we have a lot of legends in the game, the Eric B's and the Rakims, and, you know, even those individuals who gave you that balance, like a Tupac, you know. But at the same time, it's just like, I feel like we need more of that. We need more of the Rhapsodies, more of the Commons, you know, more versatility and balance, like the Tierra Wax. Like we just, you know, we just need more of that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to create my own lane, and I'm going to write about some stuff that I would like to hear, you know? So I'm going to just do it how I feel, you know, I should do it, you know? And like you said, I just started to put that pen to pad, and I started to just write over really dope, like industry beats, you know, stuff that we would hear on the radio. And then I said, okay, let me freak it, you know? And, exactly. So
which brings us to this alter ego, which you just dropped in June. First of all, I have to ask you, what do you feel the differences are between you and Robin Hood? Because I can see a few by talking to you, but what do you feel like Robin Hood brings to the table that is different from Miriam?
I think Robin Hood is a bit more raw, a bit more edgy. I think a bit more outspoken. There's certain things that Robin would say that Miriam would be like, really? But you know, right. But Robin gives, you know, Miriam the liberty basically to kind of say whatever, however I would, you know, like to say it. And so like with this particular EP, Alter Ego, I wanted to have a conversation, and I wanted to be outspoken and be blunt and frank. And so this conversation is between myself as Robin Hood and a record label exec by the name of Mr. I Don't Care of Screw You Records. And so these conversations are based on conversations that I have had, you know, as a lyricist, meeting with different producers, where, you know, label execs, about pushing my, you know, my projects forward. And it's always the same thing. It's like, oh, you know, you're so talented, you know, but it's a little too, you know, conscious, you know. And basically you just, you end up saying, okay, listen, I'm going to do this the way that I want to do it. That's one of the reasons why I love being an independent artist, because I have full autonomy over my projects, you know, what I produce. I executive produce all of my projects. You know, so it's just I did all the voices on this EP, and so I'm also a voiceover artist.
A voiceover, yes.
Yeah, so
like
again,
The Walking Dead, and yes, I did my homework, girl.
I know you did. I see. And I love that. But so it's that type of thing of saying, okay, again, let me add an additional lane to the lanes that I'm already creating. I'm 4-laning in this thing. And so, you know, so that was cool too, because it was like, oh, well, I have this idea who's going to play this particular character. And I was like, oh, well, I'll do it. And so
why not?
My homeboy Easto, who produced, you know, the entire EP, I started to talk to him about this, and then the voice just came out. And so he was like, that's it. That's the voice, you know, and so everything else, you know, just
Yeah.
unfolded the way that it did. But
And
yeah,
my three favorite, of
come
course,
on.
is Drip Flow,
Hey,
Shuffles, and I
hey.
have been listening to God's Grace on repeat for the last week. I have to tell you, like, when I say people come, like you said before, sometimes people come and they talk about demeaning things, or they have a good beat, so you hear the beat, but you don't hear the nothingness in the words. When I say I was sitting here and I was like, okay, all right, okay, let me just. I wasn't ready for this ride.
Yeah,
I wasn't really
yeah.
buckled in, you
Yeah,
know.
shout out to Grace Porter, who
Oh,
we featured on that track. Yeah, you know
yes.
what? That was my first attempt at writing a gospel song. And
Mm,
I knew I wanted to feature, you know, a singer. And
yeah.
Easto had, you know, he went to school actually with Grace. And so I had heard Grace sing before, and I was like, I'd like to work with her at some point. So it was just, you know, I don't believe in coincidences. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like the close we could say
Yeah.
is serendipitous, you know, but
Yeah.
it was just really wonderful to have her on that. And so for me, just as a writer, to write in this way, again, just being very transparent and just allowing the vulnerability really to just kind of like show, like,
Mm-hmm.
I know what this is. I've been
Right.
through, you know, trials and tribulations. And I think that there is a lane to have an EP like that, where you
Mm-hmm.
have a song like Chopper, you have a song like Drip Flow, and then you
Yeah.
have a song like God's Grace. And it, you know,
All kind of
it's
aligns. Yeah.
exactly, you know, and it's 180 degrees from, you know, me coming in and just saying, okay, because I know I'm talented, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy is saying he'll give me an opportunity.
I'm gonna go for it.
I'll
Yeah.
change things up, you know.
Right.
And it's all
Right.
also a testament, you know, that we are very creative, you know, like just our people as a
In
whole. And
general, right?
so, yeah, so, you know, you put, you know, just youth on top of that. You put just being in the culture. You put just all of these different things on top of that, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, you can produce
Right.
when you need to. You know, your back is up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm gonna make it happen.
Right.
And then we see, you know, Mr. I Don't Care going in a different
Woo,
direction, and
woo. And I'm
and
telling you
it
guys,
changes some things up.
right now, if you're not on this and you're sleeping on it, go get this EP. Alter Ego is
Yeah,
mind blowing. Like, it
thank you,
will
man.
have you
Appreciate
like, let me write this down. Let me jot this information down. So what is next for you, Miriam? What do you got up in the works coming up right now?
I mean, you know, some things are actually going to be released actually very soon, so
Yes.
I can't say exactly. I know, but definitely some good things. You know, it's been crazy because of Corona. Like,
Yeah.
a lot has been slowed down. There were a couple projects that I was working on, and you know, things just had to be shifted and turned around. But all good news, all good things. So, you know,
Yes.
keep praying for your girl. You know, Courtney, I'll be praying for you.
Thank you so
I'm trying to
much.
give you more opportunities to do praise dances.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and stopping by. It was a pleasure having you. You are always welcome back. I promise you that. Guys, this is Miriam A. Hyman, also known as Robin Hood. Get Alter Ego. I'm telling you this right now. Get Alter Ego. Follow everything that she's doing. It is dope. It's amazing, and it's uplifting. Next up, we have Chef Lexa joining us, making some fresh dishes. I love you for watching. We'll be back at 8 o'clock. Deuces.
Peace.